Another busy week for the Toledo Walleyes. We welcome in Matt Melzak, the voice of the Walleye. Matt, thank you so much for coming in.
I appreciate it, Mark. Looking forward to this week.
Now, I understand during the game Sunday, your attention was somewhat split, so let me ask you this. What's the equivalent of a hockey team going for it on 4th and goal?
Ooh, on a hockey team going, maybe pulling the goalie when you're on a power play.
Okay.
Or saying, let's go with a 2-man advantage instead of a 5-on-4 advantage. Let's go to 6-on-4.
Lines,
maybe it's the same thing.
Talking about the lines, Matt's a big Lions fan. Is Detroit 4 for 4 on 4th down conversions in the win against the Chargers?
Mark, you got to forgive me a little bit. It's been a long time since, we were in October, November, and Lion football was actually, a must-watch thing. So, had it on in the booth, was concentrating on the hockey game, but every now and again you got to peek up and check the scores.
Lines are off to a great start. The Walleye are off to a great start as well. And Matt, it's too early to make any broad generalizations, but I will say this. It certainly appears as if this is a Toledo club that will not give up.
Yeah, well, I think that's certainly been the case. You look at all of their wins this year, they've trailed. They've given up the first goal. And this past weekend, multiple goals before they got going offensively, except for Sunday, of course. They scored first on Sunday, ended up losing the game. So, maybe they got to let the first one in and then start playing. But it's been a team that has gotten better over the course of the game. When you look at the strength of this team, has been the second and third periods, at least. With the small sample size, that could certainly change over the course of the year, but at least 7 games in, that has been the case. The second and third periods have been the dominant part for the Toledo Walleyes, so we'll see if that holds true all year.
Part of the reason why Toledo's been finishing strong, Sam Craggs, he is the ECHL Player of the Week after a 7-point week.
You know what, it's funny, weren't we in here last week just talking about Sam Craggs and his development and that leap that he has taken from that first year as a rookie last year, even with those few games that he played the year prior as a pro, and then that big leap that he's had this year. And, maybe some of it is familiarity playing with guys like Chase Grisak and Brandon Cruz. But you know what? He's also playing a new position, playing more of the center role, and he's really taken to that. And you can see he is getting himself into position to be successful and score. And I mean, what a job on those goals that he scored on Saturday when you think the great work by Conlon Keenan to outrace the goaltender to get the puck and set him up for the first one, and then pressuring in the right spot to force the turnover and an errant pass and score that made it a 1-goal game. If without those, you probably don't come back Saturday.
The playoffs are a long way away. Team's not going to look at this, but we're allowed to look at this. And while Toledo's leading the Central Division, they are miles behind the Mountain Division. But that's because of the schedule more so than anything else.
Yeah, it really is, because in the Mountain Division, you're going to get teams, that like Kansas City goes on the road to Idaho. Well, they're going to play 3 games there. They'll play a lot of 3-3s. They don't play too many 4-5s. They don't have to deal with the Wednesday, Friday through Sundays where we have to do that here.
Speaking of 4-5s, that's what the Walleye have this week, as they had the Wednesday morning game, home on Friday, then on the road Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because we're going to see Wheeling for the first time this year, and they've gotten off to a good start. And then seeing Kalamazoo on Friday, then on the road Fort Wayne again, because why not?
Exactly.
We haven't played them enough yet. And then finish off the weekend at Indy, our first trip into Indy this year. So it's an interesting 4-5. You kind of like the fact that they're not all grouped together. Toledo play 3 of them this year. They're not all grouped together, which is good. You get 1 now and then a couple later on.
And that Wednesday morning game and the Friday night game, you can see those live right here on BCSN. I want to thank our guest, Matt Melzak from the Toledo Walleye. Matt, thank you once again.
Appreciate it, Mark. Let's go.